justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Inequity, disparities, and violence. Oppression, racism, no, I won't be silent. No more barriers for we will thrive, prosperity. Marcus Garvey said it best, but ourselves can free our minds. But if we fight, let it be for justice. And if we want, let it be for justice. At all costs, let it be for justice. Do what is right. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Justice. Let it be for justice. We the people are from royalty. Royalty. I wish so many of us can see. Keep the culture, be united, stop the violence. Put the power in ourselves, create the franchise. In the news last week, another bomb overseas. I'm so sick of these murders in the streets. Ooh, why I? Ooh, why I? But if we fight, let it be for justice. And if we want, let it be for justice. At all costs, let it be for justice. Do what is right. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be.
Greetings and salutations.
Let it be for justice.
Welcome to the night shift
For justice, no matter what it costs.
with yours truly, DJ Kevin Steele.
Let it be for justice. Why I?
Want to say big ups to each and everyone from near, from far. Those locked in from across the pond.
Time for
Over there in the UK, top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK. One.
unity, got to break the bondage. No more borders
Oh, I'm sorry.
to slavery, but
That's
must
a weird message.
stand together and feel alright. But if we fight, let it be for justice. And if we war, let it be for justice. At all costs, let it be for justice. Do what is right. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. And
Oh, sorry, I was in the process of bigging up everybody.
violence,
My bad.
oppression, racism, no, I won't be silent.
The massive over there in the UK, One Harmony Radio. Top of the morning to you guys over there.
We will thrive, prosperity.
Much love, King Genius, Queen Genius. Blessings to you.
Can free our minds. But if we fight,
Those who are healing from the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Welcome to the broadcast.
at all costs, let it be
Much love, Lindsay.
what is right. Let it be for justice. Let it be
Was it blessings to the family out there in New Jersey?
Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice.
Locked in on NIE Radio with the motivator.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs.
My brother from another mother.
Let it be for justice.
Blessings to those who are locked in on
From
mix102.com
I wish so many of us can see.
and their sister station in Jamaica,
Should be you.
Earth 96 FM.
Put the power in ourselves, create the franchise. In the news last
Symbol, big up your status.
overseas, I'm so sick
Much love to the family
in the streets.
and to the radio family.
Ooh, why I? Ooh, why I?
Blessings to those in New York.
We fight. Be for justice.
Home of this lady right here, Miss China Nicole. Those asking to let it be for justice.
For justice,
Island worldwide, massive big up to yourself.
let it be for justice. Let it be for justice.
Yeah, man, New York well represented.
Justice, let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be.
Blessings, Gary, and the Jump Production crew.
For us to make peace and stop the fighting. One love, one unity, got to break the bondage.
Want to say much love to those who are locked in on tune and radio.
Around me,
On the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele.
slavery. But Marley said it best.
Those on Zeno FM.
Feel alright.
Those on Clubhouse. Bubbling in the stew pot.
Be for justice. And if we war, let it be for justice. At all costs, let it be for justice. Do what is right. Let it be for justice.
There's one thing that we fight for all the time.
Let it be.
It's justice.
No matter what it costs, let it be for justice.
Whether it be the injustices in the United States with wrongful incarceration,
Disparities and violence,
racial disparities,
oppression, racism. No, I won't be silent.
or anywhere else in the world,
No more barriers for we.
we always stand up for justice right here.
Marcus Garvey said it.
Among other things.
Ourselves can free your minds, but if we fall,
But this is the home of Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. We're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment on kevinstew.com and affiliates. And so I big up those who are locked in on kevinstew.com.
do what is right.
Welcome, welcome.
For justice,
So glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you.
for justice,
You have my word, I would even try.
for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let
As I'm here waiting for my guests to join in,
for justice. Let it be for justice.
let me take care of some housekeeping.
Are from royalty. I wish some
Want to say thank you to my segment sponsors,
can see
Policy Media Group, and Being in a Moment is Priceless. Go ahead and get them a call.
the power in ourselves. Create the franchise.
They can do for you what they do for me.
The bomb overseas. I'm so sick of
They can host your website on their server.
street.
They can provide you with streaming services, whether on their platform or yours.
But if we fight, let's be for.
Get them a link.
And if we war, let it be for justice. At all costs,
754-999-1140.
let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice.
Want to say thank you to Althea Healing Heavenly Hands.
Let it be for justice.
Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you,
Let it be for justice. Let
bringing her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience.
it be for justice.
Go ahead and give her a call, 954-655-9000. Schedule your appointment today.
One love, one
She only has one request outside of paying her.
bondage.
That's it, get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done.
No more mental slavery. But Marley said it best. Stand together and feel alright. But if we fight, let it be for justice. And if we war, let it be for justice. At all costs, let it be for justice. Do what is right. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice.
Want to say thank you to the Global Base.
Be for justice, no matter what it costs. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Inequity, disparities, and violence, oppression, racism. No,
The Global Base is a place that you want to be.
barriers.
It's where you want to go link up
Thrive, prosper.
and connect.
Marcus Garvey said it best, but ourselves can free your minds. But if we fight, let it be for justice. And if we war,
global bass navigates your journey across music, marketing, and much, much more. It's a realm where social spheres awaken through mastery. Go ahead and embrace the invitation to liberate your creativity unbounded and free. Just like their consultation.
Let it be free for justice. Let it be for justice.
The global bass is your catalyst for everything related to music, marketing, event planning, and social media.
We the people are from.
Check them out today.
Royalty. I with so many of.
Tell them Kevin Stew sent you.
Keep the culture behind the violence. Put the power in ourselves. Create the friend.
And thank you to McNeil Trucking.
Bomb overseas. I'm so sick of these murders in the streets.
McNeil Trucking has your goods in good hands. They're licensed and insured movers in the state of Florida. So if you want to move from the Keys to Jacksonville, from Naples to Palm Beach, from Pompano to Pensacola, and all points in between. You want to put some things in storage, you don't have the manpower, you don't have the transportation? Don't worry. You have the name, you have the number. McNeil Trucking. 954-406-9740.
Unity got to break the bondage. No more borders around me. No more mental slavery. But Marley said it best, stand together and feel alright. But if we fight, let it be for justice. And if we war, let it be for justice. At all costs.
In the background,
Let it be for
China Nicole.
what is right.
Let it be for justice.
For justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Inequity, disparities, and violence. Oppression, racism, no, I won't be silent. No more barriers for we. We will thrive, prosperity. Marcus Garvey said it best, none but ourselves can free our minds. But if we fight, let it be for justice. And if we war, let it be for justice. At all costs, let it be for justice. Do what is right. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. 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 No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be.
Let me go ahead and give you this other bit of information too.
You'll see.
I'm not sure what's happening with my guests right now,
So many of us can see.
but I do want to remind you
Stop the
that
violence.
the audio
Put the power
book
in ourselves.
Empowered:
Create the franchise in the newsletter.
Essential Concepts and Strategies Every Woman Should Know About Self-Defense.
In the streets.
It's available, and you can download your copy right now. Get a copy for yourself, get a copy for your friend, get a copy for a family member. It's authored by Jonathan Field, narrated by yours truly, Kevin Stew. Empowered: Essential Concepts and Strategies Every Woman Should Know About Self-Defense. Go ahead and get your copy today.
No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice.
I want to say big ups to those who represent and work for the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation.
It is time for us to make peace and stop the fight.
One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation
One love,
is dedicated to defeating the threat to democracy and hold public officials accountable in the lovely country of Jamaica.
slavery. But Marley said it best, stand together and feel alright. But if we fight, let it be for justice.
They do so protests, conferences, taking legal action.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice.
All in the name of a better Jamaica. The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation, OJLDF.net. Visit the website today. Find out how you can help. See how you can get involved.
Marcus Garvey said it best, none but ourselves can free your mind. But if we fight, let it be for justice. And if we want, let it be for justice. At all costs, let it be for justice. Do what is right. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. 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 No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. We the people are from royalty. Royalty. I with so many.
So what has been happening in recent times?
See, the culture be united, stop the violence, put the power in ourselves, create.
For, let me see, a little bit over, you know.
I'm so sick of these murders in the streets.
There has been some action being taken where government officials in Jamaica have been questioned. And you know, these things don't really happen like that, you know. We look at government officials from time to time and we think they're so high and mighty and above the law kind of a thing, you know. They're and it's pretty much because of how much in esteem we hold these individuals, because we expect them to set a certain standard for the country within which everyone else will fall into place. And when we're not, when I say we, I'm talking about we, the government now, when we're not doing things the way that we're supposed to, and we start to get called out, we seem to take a position where you shouldn't be saying anything. And that's a problem. It's a problem for the growth and development of the country. It's a problem for those that live in the country. And so the problem just grows and grows and even snowballs, if you wish, into pretty much what we have today. Because right now, the way things look in Jamaica, you kind of have to wonder, boy, you know, what's happening? And so, what members of the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation and other bodies have been doing is getting together to do whatever they can to make a difference. And, you know, Bojo is about it not being an easy road, and it isn't. I don't expect anyone who has decided to take on the role of representing Jamaica, anyone who has decided that they're going to stand up for Jamaica, to have it easy. I don't. Not at all. And so those who have already started, those who have already taken positions where they are getting up and showing up and showing out, I tip my hat to them. one such person is joining me right now. He has been on this broadcast before, and let me go ahead and open up this line. And I think you're muted.
I'm muted?
Okay, no, you're not. You're good now.
Okay, good. And just got a chance to come off, and we really apologize to your listeners. Because it was not intentional. Our meeting was supposed to last 1 hour, and our hours here.
Yeah.
When it comes to meetings, right? So.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other gentleman will be coming on right away. So we'll be ready for you, my friend.
Okay. Excellent.
Wonderful.
Well, let me go ahead and get started with you since you're here. Just doing a little bit of screen adjustment here. And I'm figuring that when everybody else comes on, their screens may be turned differently.
Okay. What you mean? You want me to turn this way?
Yeah. Well, it depends on how.
Because I have to. Because I'm now on my phone, so I couldn't be on my computer.
Okay.
Will I try it on the computer?
You can switch to the computer. You can try it on the computer. Yeah, man. Jump on.
Let me try it.
I'll just wait for you to switch over. In the meantime, I can chit chat with Prezi until you come back.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm flying solo today. So I am my production team. And in the voice in the background that you hear is he goes affectionately by the name Prezi. Because the man is a true president. Let me go ahead and introduce you all to Mr. Lewis, whom you may not be familiar with on this broadcast. I don't think you've been on with us before, Prezi. So, welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. I just love that globe that you have in the background. I always love that globe.
Thank you, sir.
Prezi, welcome to the night shift. And we have Herb joining in also. So Herb is in the wings. Welcome, Herb. Good evening.
Okay.
There he is.
Good evening to you and your listeners. Good, sir.
And yes, Captain Francis joining us back, setting up his whole studio green screen behind and stuff.
I know that I've been talking. You guys gotta have me change that, or else they're gonna give me a hard time. Okay.
I am glad it's not a white sheet.
The green screen. Let me see if I can change it. Green screen.
No surrender, right, Herb? No surrender.
Oh, sorry.
How do you change the green screen?
Why
am I getting this feedback?
I don't know, but I don't think anybody else getting the feedback.
Yeah, I'm good here. I don't know. Do I sound like I'm feeding back?
Not to me. You have two devices on.
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe turn off this.
Okay.
Hold on.
I don't know
how I do it.
I don't know how Captain Francis just come on and take over the whole screen and everything. But
I don't know.
I don't know either. But Herb, Prezi, Prezi, you being the newbie, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Go ahead and introduce
Thank you.
yourself for the listeners, please.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Name is Lincoln Lewis, go by the name Mr. President, as in President, son of the soil. A Jamaican, not a Jamaican, like Mr. Steele, you know. I think, so I'm a full hot-blooded Jamaican. I love my country, very patriotic. I believe in holding powers accountable.
Mm-hmm.
I served as a former police officer. I am currently in IT and cybersecurity. I run a firm out of South Florida. I have my amazing team. I also work with multiple organizations. I have a not-for-profit that do a lot of charitable work in Jamaica. At the end of this month, we're doing our annual back to school, our school drive, where we donate every year over 1,000 backpacks.
Really?
We
Mm-hmm.
build library. We computer labs, not library, but computer labs. We do health services, meaning that we every year, like this year, we bring doctors and nurses and practitioners to different communities to do medical screening. And it's something I love doing, love the children. We support the mustard seed community,
Mm-hmm.
support um, the infirmary in Vineyard Town, and several other charities, long-standing. Every year we have their particular stuff that we bring down: wheelchair, walkers, adult diapers, clothes, a lot of great things. So these are things that I'm passionate about. And yeah, so that's me in a nutshell.
To mute me?
Well, um, uh, uh, uh,
Sorry.
all right, Captain Francis Rupi, could you just mute until you're ready to come back over for me, please?
Okay, good.
All right. So, Prezi, you've, like you said, you're a son of the soil. You've served the country, and now you live outside of Jamaica, and you have concerns about how the country pretty much is the direction that the country is going in, and you have gotten involved with this movement, initiative, organization, and that is involved with protests and an upcoming conference that is happening virtually in the diaspora. Why?
Oh my goodness. I'm glad you asked. That's one of the most important questions that I love to answer. I believe that
you.
why you do what you do when you do what you do.
Okay, say that
And
again.
I'll tell you why I do.
Say that again, because you froze right after I believe that.
Okay. I said I believe. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Am I breaking up?
No, you good now.
I'm good, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I believe that the why is important.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I do what I do? And I think everything we do in life, it's always important to say, know your motive, know the reason why you do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Know the reason why I want to let my voice be heard, because I'm a Jamaican, and I believe that there are some Jamaicans in Jamaica who believe that anyone who are outside Jamaica worked and lived outside of Jamaica is no and not only absurd, but definitely a rude and disrespectful comment for people to say because you live and work outside the country, you're no longer a part of the country.
Yes.
I believe that's a problem. But not only they're trying to squeeze us out of our legitimate rights, what they're also doing is trying to push us away because we in the diaspora are not beholden to anything. We're not threatened by their ways and their bad manners and cronyism. So what they're facing are people who are not intimidated. So when we're speaking truth to power, they try to belittle you, they try to demonize you, they try to make it seem as if, you know, you have no say in what is going on, and whatever is going on, you should shut your mouth, stay foreign, and just send money here and have nothing to say, while they're raping the people and robbing the people blind. And we who have seen and experienced so much in the diaspora, I want Jamaica to have the level of prosperity which we went to look for, to send that money back in the country. No, we're coming home. We want a return on our investments. We have invested millions of dollars into the economy. We have
Okay, we lost President again.
Okay. We are upgrading our houses. I don't know what's going on with the connection, but we want a return on our investment from the diaspora. So this is my why.
Gotcha. And it's a big one. But I am getting a feedback now. Somebody's device is feeding back into the system.
You want everyone mute? Everyone is muted. I think when I talk, I see my voice coming through your side. So maybe there's a
no loop back there.
Loop or something.
It's closed now. So okay, we're good now. Right. So the why is important, and your why is very important, considering that you served the country in the capacity of a police officer in Jamaica, which, you know, you have some insight
and
into.
And a teacher too.
And a teacher, which are two of the areas there, in my opinion, in Jamaica. The police force, or the protection of the country, education of the country, and health of the country. And you have managed to serve in two of these three capacities, as a teacher and a police officer. So you're yet to be either a nurse or a doctor, but there's time. There's time. And we have the good captain that can kind of cover some of that ground, kind of ish. I'm not sure if he's started out yet and ready, but we have Herb waiting in the wings, who is again also no stranger to this broadcast. Herb and Rupert, Dr. Francis, the good captain, have been on this broadcast before talking about One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. But right now, as their plans are afoot to have the third protest in the United States that this organization is involved with and organizing and moving forward to make happen, we have Herb with us. Herb Nelson. Herb, good evening.
Good evening to you, your fellow panelists, as well as your audience. Thanks for having me on the program.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. If you could just remind our listeners, those who are new, would get an idea of who Herb Nelson is, real quick, please.
Well, Herb Nelson is a 24-year U.S. Army veteran and a 15 and a half years U.S. intelligence community veteran. While I was serving in the military, I actually also continued to serve the community of the diaspora. I was the bar leader for the Progressive League in New York, in Queens, New York, back in the 79, 80 time frame. I served as the vice president and president of the Jamaica Association of Greater Houston, now called Jamaica Freedom uh, League, I believe. I also served here in Washington and in Houston, Texas, as a football coach for First World and Third World United teams, and pretty much um, did my part to promote football as a community building exercise in the state of Texas and in Washington, D.C. So the things that I propose to fix communities, which largely is the promotion of sports. We promoted what is called the Project Star. We promoted that. We, meaning Dr. Francis and myself, went to Jamaica in 2016 and promoted as the means to reach our youth in the community, because we knew that once you put some footballs on the field, you're going to have kids gather on opposite sides.
Mm-hmm.
We also knew that the government was struggling at the time to find a way to meet the needs of our young people in the society. And we said, okay, you bring them together, and once you have that captive audience, and you've been doing team building exercises, now they're prepared to work as a team. Now you can train them in other modalities, other technical areas. And it's an easier time training them because they're more receptive. They're not worried about being knocked off by each other or beaten up by each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're now prepared to work as a team. So that's the basic premise to what we call a Safer Cities program when we introduced it.
Okay. You mentioned Dr. Francis being also involved, and we're gonna come back to some of what you said about the roles that you've played up until this point. Let me just bring in the good captain, Rupert Francis. You ready back for us, sir?
You muted that.
I think you're still muted. Okay, there you go.
Just listen carefully to my colleagues.
Yeah. So
The only thing I've not been here is about Babylon.
no, but all right, and this is where the lines are drawn when it comes to protecting the country, because Prezi was JCF and you were J. You might have not
JDF.
been a Babylon of such, but you know, protection still. So tell us a little bit about your journey to coming to this
I
point.
say that because I identify with the police.
Mm-hmm.
Because I should have been a policeman. And you know, that's the first people I came across in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
I used to walk with them. Sorry, Chris might not be hearing this, but yeah, I really have a great deal of respect for the police. If it wasn't for them, I don't know where I'd be actually, because I used to really be friends with them.
Right.
And but as it happens, I was in charge of the military police in my career. I was the first military police commander in the Jamaica Defense Force, and I'm from a little town called Ocherius on the north coast, And in fact, one of the commanders and one of the commissioners of police was from Ocho too, hardly knowing. He went to Foreign Court, I went to York Castle. And then it was decided for me to go in the military because I didn't have any money to go to law, to go the road that I could possibly matriculate. And that was in the military. So I was taken in as a young officer and trained as an officer, a second lieutenant. And I came back to Jamaica. That was in 1960 and to 70. And then the elections came around. And I spent a number of years in different departments as an adjutant, company commander, of course, the force security officer, and basically a busybody. And I really grew up in the military. When I was in the military, and so on and so forth. And what should I say? Then when the 1970s came around, all of us were jumping for joy because we had changes in night when I saw things were happening in the army and so on. I decided to come out my own volition. Because I remember I went down to what should I say? Well, when the water was covering the island, I mean, it was horrific rain, and in the wet, I was in charge, and I realized that there was inequity in the system. So I decided to come out, and I joined the Green Party at the time. I don't know where Herb was. Herb's a youngster. Right? He was in the U.S. I don't remember. I how when did you join Herb? When did you join?
1972, I went into the U.S. Army. I was a member of the cadet corps at St. George's College.
As was I, Herb. As was I.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never told you that.
You were at Georgia?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I never told you that.
You know, Peter Rennie George's too, and he was also a tremendous guy.
Right.
If you remember him. But I'm just saying to you, and that's where I got my thing from. And I really love Jamaica. Gave my all to it. I spent 10 years there in the army and 10 years with the colors. I couldn't be one. I've done that. And basically, that's it. I've started. I've been in politics, and as I said, for the Green Party at the time, Jamaica Labour Party, and I served in the Kingston Corporation for a while as a co-opted member, and then I decided to migrate back in 1999 to come to the United States because I couldn't even get a job because you're blacklisted once, you're in the politics and so on and so forth. I didn't understand it could be so like that, but I just said, it's a change. I want a change anyway, so I went because I just could not keep my family. A lot of people don't understand that, but I do. But even although I came here, I began this business of getting involved in Jamaicanism again, getting involved in the diaspora. I was so happy that I was able to go to the first conference. And after a while, in my business, I met Herb Nelson. And Herb Nelson, I heard about him. Somebody said, hey, you got to meet this guy. And we just clicked with his knowledge of so much and his investigation capability. We came together to a huge task force. We still have the original document.
Right.
Of all the it's like a who is who.
Yes.
we were accepted by the government at the time, and they made certain moves. But as everything, somebody throw cold water into the situation, I think. And when it is, I was working with the police. In fact, at that time, this policeman who is now assistant commissioner, I know president knows him very well. He was a young superintendent. He's now. So here's what I'm trying to say here. We got involved to change the paradigm. I knew that I grew up in a time when I shouldn't be where I am today. I don't, and so on. Privilege, more privileged than I was. Sorry to tell you that. President himself will tell you that he and I share a show together, and I kid him all the time. He kids me all the time. I should have been a policeman, but he beats me up every day. I beat him back. It's just an amazing. So, what people must understand is we're not doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for our country. Because people talk about that the future, yet they do nothing to help the children of Jamaica. We have seen evidence of it. And our job must be to change that. And that's basically where I am today and where I will be for the future. And I hope that my brothers and sisters in Jamaica stop listening to disinformation, misinformation, and plain dirty politics. I've been called a thug, a PNP thug. I've been called a treasonist. I don't think the person who said it understands the meaning of treason. As a lawyer, you'd understand that anybody who says that is an idiot. You don't understand. When you call a man like me treasonous, that is serious business. Right? So I'm saying, and of course, I don't think that like me, but I'm telling you, that's a word that you just, man.
Those are fighting words. Those are real fighting words.
Let's leave that alone. I'm not going to make people think that they're important. What I want to say to everybody, Saturday will be the third protest. We're going to make sure it counts. We're going to see the people in African in Congress or whatever government we can see them. And we're going to have this conference after the conference in Jamaica. We're not stopping anybody from going to the conference. Right. But you know that they're having some issues with it right now. That's their own volition. What we're going to do is to look at what they're saying and doing, and we're going to assess it in the evening and let the Jamaican people understand what is at stake. So that's my overview.
Okay.
Of where I stand.
All right. So, Herb, you mentioned your time in the intelligence community. I would like for you to expound on that just a little bit so that people understand what kind of activities you pretty much got involved in. Because people are intelligence and they go to the kind of a thing and, thinking that you're running some kind of secret service mission out there getting information. Explain a little bit more for me when you talk about intelligence. What is that what you're involved in and how it works?
One of the things we briefed when we went to Jamaica in 2016 was that investigation need to take on a different shape altogether. Instead of police officers jumping up, leaving the station, going out, and grabbing somebody and not sure whether it's the right or the wrong person, they needed to change. They need to profile, keep records of incidents in your area of responsibility. If there's a certain pattern to those incidents, is there a trend that's going on, and who or what might be responsible? What in terms of the gang, who in terms of gang leadership, also the type of crimes being conducted is something that a particular group does in that particular area. So when you start analyzing the facts, you can then break down crimes to a smaller group of suspects and then concentrate on those suspects and go after them, right? My background is in counterterrorism, counter-proliferation, and counterintelligence. In other words, when we go searching for a suspect, we have a lot of database information about a variety of suspects in a certain area. And those are the people that we search on. We try to pinpoint their movement, their activities, right? And how do we do this? We use things like, what cell phones do they have? Where were the pings recorded on that cell phone? And then we do overlays to see if they were in a certain area where a crime was being committed at a certain time.
Right.
And usually your cell phone is one of the things we use to place you in a certain area where the crime was being committed. And a lot of crooks don't realize this, right? So we SIGINT is signal intelligence. That's one feature, right? Another feature might be human intelligence. We create what is called confidential informants,
right?
Both in the police and intelligence arenas. And those are the people who ultimately can tell you with surety who's doing what, and then you can project the crimes that those people are about to commit, or that gang is about to commit, because you got it from a reliable source.
Got you.
So when you talk about intelligence and intelligence driven, it's not about just information you get. You get a tip and you go out and you operate on that tip. When you get a tip nowadays, you've got to go ahead and validate the information. For instance, a group of officers out in Spanish Town got a tip that an individual who was supposed to be a heavy hitter for a gang was there in a certain house. But what they failed to do was to do a background check on that individual. They would have found out this heavy hitter wasn't just somebody who shot up other gang members. This person, the background in the U.S. Marine Corps, was a sniper scout and was very versatile with a variety of weapons. So when the officers, all five, went to the house, this individual, they went inside the house, you can imagine, relaxed, confident that they have numbers on that individual, knocked on the individual's door, and he lit them up. In the end, I think it's either all five or maybe four out of five that died.
Right.
And that included the superintendent who led them out there. He died later on in the hospital because he had a blood clot. And when the hospital was releasing him, the blood clot moved, blocked his heart-lung connection, and he died pretty quickly.
Right.
So when you are doing a track and trace to determine kill or capture, because that's what the police does in Jamaica, right? You see them put somebody to kneel down and a shot goes off. That was not a capture. That was a kill mission that they were on,
Right.
right? So Jamaica has to understand these things. They're hard things for them to grasp because you don't expect that of your police force, a modern police force. But
Right.
it happens. So the bottom line is the training that I received that I can pass on, that I have passed on to a lot of Jamaican police officers, has allowed them to work on a profile, to work on different software, draw different scenarios that fits their area of operation, and they've been effective in their use, right? So, without saying a whole lot, you see things happening here in the U.S. with the police officers in different cities. And again, it happens because the police fail to do their homework. They go knocking on somebody's door. The individual has a weapon. The weapon is pointed down, and the individual is shot dead by the officer.
Yep. I remember that.
Had he done his homework, he'd have found out the individual was in the U.S. Air Force, that the individual had a licensed weapon, and that in fact, Florida law allows you to come to, if you're banging on your door and you think somebody's breaking in, Florida law allows you to come to your door with your weapon
Yep.
in a ready fashion, ready to shoot. So if the police officer had realized this was a law-abiding citizen and did not present a threat, he wouldn't have emptied his weapon in the young man.
Right. Right.
So this is why I'm saying it's how you check things out, how you determine your approach to an individual or to an area, and you're not going to have any overkill
And this
or
has been
accidentally kill anybody.
and these skills are some skills that you've imparted on the police force in Jamaica.
That's it. And what you get is people joining ranks to back each other up. The blue wall of silence, they call it. And nowadays, now that you have your camera, body-worn camera,
Yes.
now that you have your common equipment, so many things are being recorded that make it hard for the officer to lie.
Got you.
Right? So it's best that you follow procedure and that you train your officers to be efficient in their approaches to crime and to criminals.
Prezi, having been a police officer in Jamaica, back when you were active versus what you see now, what kind of concerns do you have for the police force in Jamaica? Prezi, you still with us? Oh, okay.
From day one, I have seen some things that have not been proud of. And I'll put it this way. When the constabulary force was established in Jamaica, they received this cutting-edge technology from the monarch or the Westminster system of government.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big station diary called the Guard Room Book, cutting edge. And over the years, they've developed radio communication. I mean, it's an amazing technology. You can be miles away and talking to dispatch. And I mean, it was brilliant. You wouldn't have to be in earshot to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And those two aspects of technology, I left in 2000, and the police have not advanced much further than that. When you look at the police system in England, United Kingdom,
Yes.
it's an advanced system with case management software, a lot of different departments, a lot of accountability, a lot of checks and balances, and of course, immense professionalism. People were, you know, our people are prideful, are think it's a wonderful career option to be a police officer in many first world countries.
Mm-hmm.
In Jamaica, most people who are police officer, young men who becomes police officer, it's because it's what else is here to do, unless you're going to take the streets. And that within itself is a problem. So I have seen that same trend over the years when I was there and after I've left, because I still keep in touch with my team. Many of them have gone up the ranks. They are wearing khaki suit. Many of them are running departments and different divisions in Jamaica. And I do have conversations still with high-level officials who are leading the constabulary force.
Right.
And of course, they will laud and say, well, President, you know, don't burn me out as we are, you know, ISO certified, ISO 9001 certified. And hey, we are investing in a case management software that will provide us, you know, with the kind of data we need to be professional. And then I laugh because I said, yeah, you may have that in one area, in the corporate area. A couple of stations in the corporate area, they can drive around and do a photo op. You can go around and you can say, well, look at what we're doing. We have computers and data in it. But majority of the smaller little stations then that really serve the community, so they're at the foot of the hill, are sometimes on 2 or 3 police that want station way up in one bush when nobody no want to go get station. You ask them what it feel like to be a police officer. And is the force, is this, you know, ISO certification, you know, important to them? They say, you know what's important to me right now? Is a cup of tea. I want the ability to go in a back or make some coffee. I want a coffee machine at the station. You know what's important to me? Is that so much chink. Not in a little one mattress where run a box, where the little bar, sometimes you have to bleach at night time, sometimes you live out of the area. And you work, you get stationed in the area, you have to stay there for the week. And then you go back home when you get your day off in your area where you live. These are the things that police are dealing with. And then you have these guys at corporate or in the officer corps who have detailed protection, guys who protect them and they walk around and shake hands, nod and wave, and then they call the media and say, hey, look at what we're doing. Hey, look at what you're doing in your office. But the majority of police, and even some police in the corporate area, in areas where you have to have, you know, 100 man or a big station where you're supporting a volatile community. It's not easy in those barracks. Those police are not having anything amazing happening for them. And when I speak up, for police officers, they're telling me to keep quiet. They're telling me, you can't give anything to the police station. Because I went to the SOAP and I said, the commissioner, I said, listen, we want to do something in the diaspora for the police station. We're going to start with something simple. We want to give every police station a copy machine. And the deputy commissioner of police said, well, you cannot be perceived as trying to get favor by offering the police anything. So when your organization offer the police coffee machines and a year supply of coffee, these correct K-cups to these police stations for a year, it may be perceived as if you're trying to do it because you want favor. So therefore, make the gas take them up and make them figure it out. To me, I said, what about process? Can't you guys formulate a foundation or some other kind of department where we could funnel these things through that department, and then you guys logistically distribute them where the needs are? But this is the problem I'm telling you about, the shallow mind, nearsightedness mindset, and then we in the diaspora are trying to offer solutions. And I've offered many solutions, Kim. Many solutions, how to fight crime. And I can list 1,000 of them. And these people categorically look at it and say, in Jamaica, we did, I think they're really affiliating. But isn't professional policing everybody thing? Isn't safety everybody's concern?
As well as it should be.
Police force beneficial overall for the entire society? I think it is.
Definitely.
I think it is. And I know that there are many police officers, because I talk to them all day, every day. I'm in groups with them. And they want change. But what can they do? What can they do? Because when Mr. Rowan James, you remember his saga, and Dr. Francis know him very well. You remember when he started speaking up? They can do it.
Right.
And there are many like him who can't say anything. As Herb was talking about, it's actually these politicians, they control the police force.
Right.
And the Scoops are big friends. They go together, they drink rum together, they go to Vale Royal and some other places, go play sword fight together and all kind of foolishness.
Yes.
And there's a lot of slackness and nastiness in politics and law enforcement, and these are mashing up the country. And that is why we are having the Diaspora Conference. That is why the Global Diaspora Conference is keeping this Sunday starting. Because we want to address these things. And we want to offer solutions. We're not selling people real estate and them to buy waste products in the United States and send money through JN money transfer. That's not what we're doing. Yes, they're happy because Grace Kennedy and Jane and all of them, 1/3 of the economy is coming from us. 1/3 of the money that runs Jamaica and feed all of these people and police salary, all of these things are coming from the diaspora. They only want money and no voice. And that, my brother, is a problem. That's why why we're here tonight. Educate the people on something that is necessary.
So, and gentlemen, speak freely, as will. This is now the third protest that is coming up. The first one was in Miami, at the consulate. The second one was up in New York at the consulate, and this one is happening this Saturday in DC, Washington DC, at the not the consulate, the
The embassy.
The embassy.
Embassy.
The embassy.
Embassy.
Jamaican embassy. I might get in trouble for asking this question, but that's fine because there are other people that have asked me this question as we have discussed it. Individuals who are in these offices are supposed to be non-partisan, correct?
Yes.
Well, yeah, we're supposed to be.
Okay, cool. Since these protests have started happening, I've heard murmurs and talks here and there. I've seen video of pretty much being shown bad face, if you want to call it that, by a consul general, New York consul general, seemed to be, well, I felt disrespected and I wasn't there. And so, not saying that she is disrespectful, but the behavior wasn't becoming for a group of individuals that are getting together to raise an alarm, to call attention, to demand a change in operations in a place that we, and I speak collectively now, all hold near and dear. Whether we live in the country or we live outside of the country, whether we plan to go back or never plan to go back, we still hold it dear. And we all still have ties. So when a group like this steps up and says, hey, we want better for our people, and individuals like ambassadors or consul generals or representatives of these offices that shouldn't be taking a side step up and say, boy, you're coming up against me, you're speaking out against me. How do you, as individuals who have served your country and are currently still providing services to the beautiful nation of Jamaica, how do you feel about something like that coming back to your ears, coming back to your face, coming back to you, and possibly classifying you as what you are not, labeling you negatively?
Well, let me answer that first, because I would have thought, according to some reports, that there was a press release that I tried to get a position with the government.
Yes.
Because I'm well known to them. I've served them for quite some time. I've worked with them, many of them. Yet the disrespect that has been shown publicly. I remember there was twice a Veterans Day, and we had a Let's Connect, either on the day or near the day. And for example, the ambassador said, Happy Veterans Day to everyone. Called my name. I was the most notable veteran in that space. And I said, is it an error? But it was done again. And I'm not upset about that. I'm just saying to you that as a person who is representing the entire Jamaica at the United States Embassy, I would have thought that they would be more diplomatic. When Dr. Chan came and I asked him the question, he answered the question as to what they plan to do with that. He said, well, our police force is one of the best in the world. Right now we have a general who is the head of the police force. Don't forget, you're just a captain.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
First of all, had I messed up the army completely, that general would not have been. Even in addition to which, since then, gone, and I taught at universities. I got degrees in the field of criminology, etc., forensic psychology, etc. And I also a lot of work in the system with underserved populations and criminals, etc., etc. Actually, those that are mentally ill. So when someone says that all you need is your money, I don't think you guys have the wherewithal to do anything in Jamaica. I didn't. I was offended really. It was a member or members who came and said, no, 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 you cannot say that. Because that's not so. And in addition to it, and the ambassador never said anything. And when we had the protest in Miami, the ambassador herself said that we were responsible for the travel advisory that had come out. And the state office, which I know nobody there or nobody knows me or us, came out and said that's not true. And she still has not apologized for what she said. Now, I understand. You represent the Green Party, and whatever, I'm sitting in front of the Green here. I have never seen, there are a couple of consul generals, one in particular, every time she wears her clothes, she has on green. And I'm saying to myself, what's going on here? Are you representing the people of Jamaica, or are you representing the Jamaica Labour Party? No, I have nothing with the Labour Party. And of course, they're not happy that I have come out and I must have something wrong. I must be bad mind. I must be this. No. I want to repeat what I said earlier. That these gentlemen and myself, persons out there, as the children of Jamaica, no matter who you are, where you're from, deserve a future. The country deserves to be owned by Jamaicans. Okay? And any attempt at changing that paradigm is not serving the people who elected you to serve them. And that does not mean that I am a thug or a treason or guilty of treason. So I asked the Jamaican people out there, we did under the same administration with Montague, I'm going to call his name. We help the police, we work with the police, we work in the corrections, etc., etc. We did, we sent people, we have it, we have the evidence.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, you're saying we are not relevant. No, my brother.
We, the diaspora.
Yes, in the diaspora.
Yes.
The diaspora. And I want the diaspora to understand this. Those of you who have gone out there and said the disparaging things and repeated what someone came on the radio today to say that, and then they say, oh, he's a Trump. No. Mr. President is here. I can tell you. I've never denied that I'm a conservative. I'll always be a conservative.
Right.
That's who I am. But I have friends, colleagues, who are very liberal.
Right.
I mean, in every way. Even if you want to say, you know, that they are exorbitant, if you understand me, and frilly, that's fine. I taught those people. And I remember on one occasion I was in a classroom and someone in there, an ex-soldier, wanted to give me a hard time and literally attack me. And some groups of people who will remain nameless, said, not here, because we have bags of stone, and we will protect him even when nobody else will. Hola? So I don't know. So I must try to tell people, before you label somebody, look at their history. Don't demonize because you think you can just demonize. Look at the history. And so right now, I think that some people are saying, my God, we never expected the dirty 30, as they called us. We never expected these people to make an impact. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Anybody who thinks that we have not made an impact is out of this world, has an out of world experience. Let's put it that way. Because the impact is clear. People have been changing their minds. People have been looking at the situation and say, where is Jamaica going to be in 10 years? Will we now own it? Will we speak Patois or Mandarin? Okay. Will we? Okay. And if we are not careful, we're going to lose our Jamaicanness. And anywhere in the world you go, people know somebody from Jamaica. Or just say one love, and they will repeat it.
Yeah.
One love.
Yeah.
That's all I have to really say in regards to all this.
You know, it's interesting that you have come under some of the fire that you have, Dr. Francis, being very much involved for pretty much your adult life or your voting life with the Jamaica Labour Party. And for it to be said that you don't mean the country well, and whatever other negative thing that has been said, I find that interesting. Just as equally interesting as I find non-partisan individuals who are supposed to be representing the country of Jamaica taking sides and having issue with the Jamaicans in the diaspora and those who are friends of Jamaica in the diaspora.
Okay, but Kevin, let me say this.
Yeah.
These are my two colleagues here. I've known them for forever. And let me say this too. I can go back in my archives, as I did the other day, and pull out information up to COVID when I was revered by the same people who are demonizing me right now. Are you with me? And that was just 2 years ago.
Okay,
So
so
how come?
what happened? What is different? What caused the turnaround?
You know what it is? Arrogance. Arrogance. The idea that they should not be challenged. I am too big. I am too broad to be challenged. How dare you? Now I ask you, am I not made of the same skin? Do I not have blood that bleed like everybody else? How come you are better or greater than me? How have you served Jamaica? You've been in a privileged position, and I don't envy you. But the point I'm making is, it's the people of Jamaica who put you where you are. Serve them. You don't have to serve me. I'm not asking you for anything. And I certainly didn't ask for a job. I can get any job I want. That's all I can say to that.
Herb, Prezi.
Yeah, Herb, you want to go first?
Okay, well, listen. I was looking at this list that President went over when we were in New York, Kevin. And I think President remembers it quite well because it's a longer list than what we advertise on the actual brochure, right? This brochure is a very short number of things that we cover. We talk about corruption, crime, poverty, failed health care, poor education, etc. But when Prezi was reading from this thing, he was saying that they claim we mashing up brand Jamaica. But who really mashing up brand Jamaica? Jamaica's murder rate of 60.9 per 100,000 inhabitants. It ranks as one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Did we do that in the diaspora? No.
Mm.
The Prime Minister, he promised 2016 Jamaicans would be able to sleep with their windows and doors open. See, the Prime Minister statutory declarations for the last 3 years has not been verified by the Integrity Commission. The Prime Minister and his cabinet receive anti-corruption training from the Integrity Commission,
Mm-hmm.
and then turn around and refuse to sign the Good Governance Code of Conduct. Right?
Yes.
Now I could go through all of them, but I'm not gonna. I know we have limited time
Mm-hmm.
because, shockingly enough, the Auditor General has come out and said that this government cannot account for 1.7 not billion, but $1 trillion
Jamaican dollars.
worth of funds. Yes, no, not American. It comes to almost 11 billion American dollars.
That's still a lot of money. That's still a lot of
It's
zeros.
still a lot of money. Either way you add it up,
Yes.
it could more than balance the books today. Right?
Listen, the GDP for Jamaica is $17.1 billion in 2022, right? That's the last number. If it's 17.1 billion US, imagine, look at that number, how close it is to the entire gross production at Jamaica. Every money we're making at Jamaica, the man them thief, almost thief a year. I will remember that.
Yeah. And you see, one of the reasons why I'm really happy that you guys have taken the time out to join me to talk about this is when I mention to some people that these protests have been happening and are going to happen, there are a few responses that generally come my way. One, what is that going to do? No protest in the United States. No protest is going to work, and no protest in the United States is going to work. So why bother? And that's one of the very first things. But
That's not true. That's not true, Kevin.
yes,
Kevin, let me tell you something. They want us to go political, but we're not going political.
mm-hmm.
But I tell you, you see what happened to the Pied Piper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People think that what they're doing, people are not noticing, and that ordinary people didn't notice. But if you look at the transition that has been coming on, and I'm not mentioning the politics.
Okay.
If they continue along this line, they are going to lose Jamaica. Right? And it's their fault.
Yes.
There's no one I can say I dislike in the Labour Party. Really. I'm just telling you. But the point I'm making is for you to go and write a piece, and they've not heard the last of that, in terms of the press release in regards to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That's how they operate. They have to demonize. If they cannot prove, they cannot get out of it, they're going to buck shuffle till they back up against the wall and go and burst through the wall. That's what's happening. Okay, so it's not strange. It's not strange. They know what is happening. And I have never in my time called names.
Mm.
I don't.
So
For a reason.
So these protests up until this point, gentlemen, you'd say that they have been effective.
Absolutely. If not, why would they be balling? If not, why would they be sending out trolls? If not, why are they back in our AI systems and mashing up, trying to, block us?
Mm.
Every time. If they know right now, they'll try and mess you up on this platform. They're doing it. I'm not an AI guy. They know that. But at the same time, they will do anything that is necessary. I've had calls, people literally crying to say they hear people saying this and that, what they would do to me. But it's not that that's not been gone unnoticed. It's being challenged. It's being, even, you know, that's not a problem. Okay, but they want you to fear them. And the reason why we are doing the protest in the United States, let's face it, you can't do it in Jamaica. People are afraid. In every aspect of the life. Only you have a few brave ones. Because they can't really touch them. And I kind of have an idea why they can't touch them. But at the same time, right? Listen to me, man. If it is not effective, why you ball it and why you send out people to us?
And so here comes this protest on Saturday. Let me go ahead, and Herb held up the flyer earlier. Let me go ahead and put stuff there. Here comes this protest, this coming Saturday, June 15. And the protest is emphasizing or shining a light on corruption, crime, poverty, failed healthcare, poor education, and the list goes on and on and on. But not only does this happen, but following that, here comes this conference, this biennial Diaspora conference, which there's supposed to be, well, there's a conference scheduled for the diaspora being put on by the government of Jamaica during the same time period. That happens in the day, but you have to go down to Jamaica and register and pay your money, but it's not quite covering the issues like this, well, based on the program that has been put out. And so here we are, we're in a very unique place, because something like this has never happened. There has never been a protest against the sitting government of Jamaica. And I believe it goes beyond the ruling party. I believe it addresses the ruling party and the opposition party in holding individuals accountable and getting the job done for the country of Jamaica and the people in it. And talking with you gentlemen off the air every now and then, I believe we all share the same sentiment. The whole idea of protesting, like I was saying, has never been done. And it is starting to turn heads. It is starting to raise further questions. I guess the real question that people would have why they don't get involved some more is, then what? You know, what will happen? You go to protest, yeah, you go out there, but then what?
I don't know if Prezi, what then what, Prezi? Then what? Let me just say quickly. Listen.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Then what?
Okay.
And to address the question about how, you know, people perceive our action, whether they think it will have any lasting impact, or whether or not it is just a passing fad and we're just making noise, and after, you know, a couple cycles will fade away. That is what they want. That is what they would hope to happen. But I can tell you this, the people who are coming to these protests, and many, many hundreds of thousands more who are championing and celebrating what we're doing are fed up of the hypocrisy. And by no means we are political. And let me tell you this. I don't know, and I suspect that there are people who may show up at the protests who have political alignment. But I can tell you this, me personally, Mr. President, is not beholden to any political party. And I don't trust neither the Honorable Prime Minister or the Honorable Opposition leader. I don't trust none of them. I don't think either one of them are the solution that Jamaica needs. I don't think so. In fact, I'll even go a little bit further to say I heard Mr. Golding the other day talking on the issue that he's dealing with about his dual citizenship. And when it came up to the issue of participation of the diaspora, his position is the same as the governing party. It is literally, well, you know, we'll see what we can do later on. But for now, you know, no party place, so hold on a con. That's literally what him said. I heard him say that. I don't have to ask anybody. I heard it myself. And so what the two parties are doing is to write out people in the diaspora out of the Constitution. And Mr. Golding hired their Muslim still right now. So his position will be more along the line of trying to be empathetic towards people in the diaspora because he might try to find company for help. He's off the pressure off of him. But I personally believe that if you're going to be a prime minister, you need to renounce any other citizenship that you have in a country. I think he should renounce any other dual citizenship that he has and serve the people of Jamaica wholeheartedly if that's a job he wants. But I also believe that people in the diaspora who have dual citizenship like myself should have an opportunity to partake in aspect of representative politics or representational politics. I do believe that people in the diaspora, especially coming up to the new constitution, which is exactly what they're trying to get passed. So here's what the two parties are trying to do. And let me tell you, say, a cloak and dagger thing, a fool and take people for. So the two parties want to do is to divvy up the power amongst themselves and get a quote unquote president that they will choose, or the ruling party will choose. So they'll choose a party, one of them get majority at the vote, and the other one get a portion, and then now if the president align with them, then it's a tiebreaker. And that type of madness, you can't have a majority, right? And hold without the majority, when I tell you, with them do the maths, it is so crickified and it's so tactical that these guys sitting on writing nothing. These are these guys who are talking about they're reviewing constitution and they're writing constitution. Nothing that they're writing is really positioning Jamaica to be a first world country. Every day they talk about, oh, Singapore came to Jamaica and learned from us. And, you know, why are we so stuck and they're so advanced? Oh, there's, you know, it must be in the water. No, it's foolishness. It's choices. It's corruption. What they're not saying Singapore do, if you commit corruption and you come back from a flight as a police and you know, say you must go lock up somebody who's thief money at SSL, and you know, say you must go lock up a government official who is involved in sexual exploitation and also human trafficking and also all kind of corruption that they know they're involved in and are aware of, and drugs deal, then, you know, you should go put them in handcuffs. But what they do, Kevin, their superior make a phone call, and, you know, last night I was talking to a chief of police here in my city, and he was telling me about a very high-profile case, and I can call the name. is a very high profile billionaire, and he mentioned it's the same thing for him. And when they were going to arrest the billionaire for such crime, and he got a phone call, and the phone call was like, "Well, listen, here's the deal. Don't worry about that. Just let those other guys, let the feds go and go do what they're doing, because this is gonna be over shortly." And the guy ended up dying in jail. Everybody know the guy.
Yeah.
Because a couple high-profile people, even a monarch, was implicated in the thing. And he was telling me the inside story. And that's all I'll say about that. But the point is, at the end of the day, these two political parties are trying to play the people them. What they want going to know, back to the same JLP, PMP foolishness. They're not leaving room for an independent party to start up a new constitution. Because I believe if a constitution is being written, you can't write it yourself and say, yeah, man, we have to protect our own interests because we have to still run the thing for them. The same set of foolishness. The same men, they must set the law to protect themselves. Them still control the law enforcement. Them still control everything. And all them then they say, oh, and we have a puppet president now named President Mama Makumba, or whatever they want to call him. And them put him in there, and all he's going to be doing is working for them. And guess what? The two same political parties are going to run the country same way without no checks and balances. But we are a republic. We are no longer under British rule. Clap us, we did so well. Foolishness, I'm telling you, this is the wool that they want to put over people. And when we the diaspora look through it and say, no, a foolishness not do. And a wickedness not do to the people. The people in Jamaica are so busy, most of them are trying to hustle to make a life. They don't have the time and the energy to spend time like Ratty and spend time like Herb and spend time like Dr. Francis. And even myself, to analyze and look into some things that they themselves are, not even have the interest or the opportunity to do. So these politicians, the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Opposition, not one of them, neither one of them is more beneficial to the people. The whole system needs to crumble, and the people need to choose. There needs to be a referendum. The whole thing needs to wipe out. New political parties, new government must be able to form. The people you must have now in that time a kind of a system where you put the military in charge, and the military will hold the power of the country. And then when the political process is complete, the military hand over the power to the government to continue to form them government and run the country executively, and then the military retire back to a park camp. But these guys, what they're doing, they are writing themselves. And I said, well, your opposition now, so you're going to give a certain amount. If you win, you could take it. But guess what? But 5 years' time, you can get a chance. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have about 3 or 4 more years. We can switch up a little thing based on some technicality we're going to write in. And, we good. We nice. Can say, we play golf same way. So you're not like, say you're broke. It will make the same amount of money, and you get money for your constituency. I mean, no, tell me 25% you put that constituency, and the rest of your friend then go, find a way. No, this is serious, Kevin. If you can talk on it, look into it. If you don't think you can talk on it, you know.
Listen.
Look into it. In your heart of heart, you know.
I'll say this. Back in the 80s when I started high school, one day walking into the gates at Winchester Park off North Street, I don't even know how that came to me, but I had a question. Why don't our politicians live in their constituencies? And to this day, I'm still waiting for the answer to that question. because I don't see it happening.
Thank you.
And so what I believe happens as a result is a lack of connection with the people, a lack of support to the communities. Unless, of course, you live uptown, the Beverly Hills and the Jacks Hills and the Cherry Gardens, as most of our politicians do, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Even those, yes.
I don't want to put it, but I just want to give you another perspective here. Of course, myself and Mr. Mr. President don't necessarily share the same view on this matter. I know from what I've seen, and Mr. President should know this, that it's going to be very difficult, although maybe desirable, to address these two parties. It's almost, I mean, from what I've seen, brothers, I'm not knocking, throwing cold water on it. It would be nice if it happened like Mr. President said, I would imagine, but I don't think that that's going to happen, because these guys have a control that you wouldn't believe in every area of it. So let us hope Mr. President's solution come out. I'm not against what he says, but I'm just saying, here's what I think. Right now, we have to look at Jamaica as it stands. And we have to make the people of Jamaica aware. And no matter, even if, you're talking about the military, Mr. But let me just tell you about the military. You and I know that the military being in charge is not a very good idea, because sometimes they stay in charge and don't want to give up, as we know in certain countries. No, I'm so knocking the idea, but I'm just saying to you, you have to have men and women of integrity. And I'm not saying that our army, it doesn't have integrity and all that sort of thing, but I really don't. I've seen the bloodshed. I've seen, I've studied it. And I'm saying to myself, what would be the best? I think a democracy is the best for us. But how do we achieve this? Mr. President himself knows that if we educate the young people from early, and we do what we're doing now, and we get to them and make them understand that there's a better way. We don't have to leave Jamaica necessarily to come and do well in the United States and then be chastised by our own people. We don't have to do that. If Mr. President and I have many arguments about how we can build the children, start the thing over within 10, 20 years. Yes, not a short term.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can have a better Jamaica, because right now there are two Jamaicas, as you quite rightly say, above Crossroads and below Crossroads.
Right.
And when I mean that, I mean So all I'm saying to you is that to get to where Mr. President wants to get, where people have to make their own decisions, I think we have to really do what we are doing right now, is to re-educate the society. Right? And get them to understand how strong the average person, how strong the vote is. And they do not. And I think evidence of that has been shown already. I think that the government was shocked when they saw what happened in the local government elections. That's the only time I'm going to say they were shocked.
Yeah.
And so if they could be shocked, and know the diaspora is now not necessarily together, but they're discussing the whole idea. So I'm asking Mr. President to rethink that situation, because I know what he said was true in terms of, don't get me wrong though, what he said is absolutely correct. These guys are not enemies.
Right.
I would love to believe that the people of Jamaica matter. You understand? So I'm hoping that what Mr. President says would not be the case, but I'm hoping though that if the alternative would be us educating, which he does well, and we educate the public, we go out there and we show them that you can change governments right now, really, as he says, you're swapping background for monkey, yeah, but the fact of the matter is, we need stability, we need growth, and we have seen stability. We are one of the oldest democracies in the Western Hemisphere. I would never, even though I'm a military man, love to see the military in charge of our government. I'd like to see that. And yeah, we're going to digress a little bit in regard to that. And I don't know what her situation is. But let me say this to you. The Jamaican people, if they get up and recognize that what we are doing is God's work, what we are trying to do is not no political work. What we are trying to do is to have them think for themselves and stop taking money for their votes. Right? And not allowing people to steal our money and what have you. Okay? Or to, listen to me. We need to get more Singaporean, as Mr. President said. But I don't know if we really need to go that level up there, and that's my view, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Whatever happens in the future, I hope that Jamaica benefits, the real Jamaicans benefit, not just a few. That's my thoughts. So don't hold me, Mr. President, but I hope that my thoughts are aligned with you as well as mine aligned with yours, and we get Jamaica back.
So tonight, what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, are three individuals that are very knowledgeable and hold skill sets that are quite useful to a paradigm shift. And this is just three of a group, and a group of individuals with high skill sets, a group of individuals that have served in various capacities that aid countries. One of the individuals, I think, I don't know which one of them is the most dangerous, in a good way, because you have Prezi, who was a police officer who still maintains connections with the police department. You have Dr. Francis, who was in the JDF and still has certain connections. And you have Herb, who was in intelligence, American intelligence, Army intelligence, and has information and connections with sources of information. But this is just three individuals out of a group, and the mindset is they're in alignment. Their end goal is the same, and believe me, I've heard them have some real head-butting discussions, but the end goal is the same: a better Jamaica. And so here comes this protest on Saturday. Let me put up the flyer again. Here comes a protest, and this is happening in Washington, D.C., at the embassy, 1520 New Hampshire Avenue, 1520 New Hampshire Avenue, Washington, D.C. It starts at 9 a.m. It goes until 4 p.m. Eastern. And there'll be some transportation coming out of New York. For those who are in New York, the New York, New Jersey area, there will be some transportation coming out of New York. If you visit the website, One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation website, ojldf.net, you could use .org. It takes you to the .net. It takes you to the same place. You'll be able to view some information on transportation. And if you call the number that you see on the website, 757 OJLDF 77, if you call that number, you'll be able to also get some information and see how you can get involved, how you can make it to the protest. There will be other protests coming up too. So there's an opportunity for you to, if not make this one, make others, but see how you can help. And every little bit of help makes a big difference. I'm kind of glad I didn't get Herb riled up tonight, because Herb will give information that will just make you want to go out and riot. Really and truly.
One of the things I would say to Kev is that this is the center of power in the world, Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And that commander-in-chief, that president, is the one who's asking us in a letter dated December to identify the problems of corruption in the hemisphere. And so it just happens we have worked on a lot of things, and the thing that he needs to support him and we need to support us are the people.
Right.
If the people are laid back, nonchalant, non-caring, and do not engage their Congress people or the senators, U.S. senators, then it means that whatever the president is asking for, you have to flip a coin nowadays to see which way they're going to vote, if they decide to even table it and have a vote on it. But when people in the community that is authorized specifically under law, Public Law 114-291, they're authorized to engage with their congressional people and the U.S. senators and to let them know what needs to happen that is in the best interest of the United States of America and the allies that America has at its third border. Because if our people don't engage, nothing is going to happen. But if they're serious, if they come out and they do engage, and they say, Herb, we got to get rid of this corruption. My God, I mean, it's a lift. They did it in Miami. They did it in New York, right?
Yes.
And now they're going to do it in Washington, D.C. President going to be there, Doc going to be there, and a host of other people. Mr. Rattigan should be up on Atom by then, or before then, hopefully. And then we can have our representation like we did in Miami and we did in New York. There is no way, Kev, that these people can sit back and wait and say, what? Oh, my grandson is going to do it, or my son or daughter is going to do it, or my granddaughter is going to do it. No, the time is now.
Right.
And these corrupt people, we have enough laws on the book. The Global Magnitsky Act, the Foreign Bribery Act, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. And if you have a very deviant and destructive police force that's killing your people and operating under the false pretext of state of emergency, which the courts have ruled and have outlawed it, then you need to apply the Leahy law, which will take away all the funds that they get for training and for anything else that they get from the United States. That will cease.
Yes.
Right? So one way or another, we have to get their attention and get them to start respecting our population and looking out for our people. This Prime Minister does not care. He wants to line his pockets. His wife wants to line their pockets. He came into office, couldn't pay his school bill. He said about $2,000 US. But today he's worth over 190 million Jamaicans. And he has not filed a declaration that is acceptable by the Integrity Commission. He should be charged and he should be punished, going to jail for I think up to 2 years,
Right.
and paying a fine. And if what he has is ill-gotten gain or illicit gain, it should be seized, including the house. So people need to stop tiptoeing around him, tell him he's in violation of the law, and tell him to straighten up, fly right, and make the proper declaration. But he's not going to do that because he's arrogant and he doesn't care. We saw that during COVID when he called election. And he went out there, pulled people out, pay them $5,000-$10,000, and they voted for his party, one of the lowest turnout ever. And we're going to see that repeat itself again. I mean, people are fed up. They just don't want to participate anymore in the democracy. But we can't afford for them to do that. We have to keep hope alive, as Jesse would say, and we have to keep encouraging our folks that the day that better will be coming is here. Better must come.
Right.
And they are the ones that are going to vote. By their vote, it will happen.
So, in addition to the protests, following, right up the next day, starts the conference. And so these discussions, now everybody has an opportunity to participate in these discussions, to address these issues: education, health, national security, and the various subtopics under these issues. Starting on the 16th, so Sunday, the 16th of June, here comes this conference, which you don't have to, one, travel to Jamaica, or two, spend money to register. You get on the link, you participate, you ask your questions, you get your answers, you give your support. That's basically all that is being asked. And this is another step in the right direction to building a better Jamaica. Gentlemen,
I think I'm going to ask that we encourage people to give to the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation, because without that we cannot move forward and we can't do anything. And secondly, to come out on that day, to make sure that they come out on that day to support what is going on there, support the people in Maryland, West Virginia, and all those places, and in DC. So it is very, very important. Please, we're not saying this because we're just saying it. We want you to come out and so on. And you hear Mr. President him preaching to the crowd. He loves to do that. And I will just remain calm as usual, right, Mr. President? and him tired. And yes, but listen to me. We're going to be there. We want participation, and everybody will be fine. We're going to get it together. Please, if you want to come to the thing, reach out to Mr. President.
Visit the website.
Reach out to him. Yes.
OJLDF.net. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
By the way, I think your thing is turned around, Kevin. Those posters. I don't know how they got turned around. But they were turned the other way around.
Were they?
Eyes.
Okay. I got you.
One of the things that I said, Kevin, is they good governance means transparency, it means integrity, and it means accountability.
Right.
Our accountability for this conference that we shied away from was because it didn't address the main point. Initially, when announced, it didn't address education, it didn't address the healthcare, and it didn't address poverty. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't address any of those things, and we objected vigorously. And at the same time, we are taking our name back, Global Jamaica Diaspora Council.
Right.
We're taking our logo back. And we told them at the time that what they're doing did not meet the standards that we expected.
Mm-hmm.
Because after COVID, you expected them to want to help the people of Jamaica,
Right.
the people who suffered, the people who were still in poverty, the people who were crying out because they don't move up in society. They don't have nothing to look forward to, including the very young people. So now that we are doing this first biennial conference at night after the daytime one, we want to speak to the issues that need to be addressed and address those issues that they brought up, and we think there might be inaccuracies or some blatant obfuscation of the facts that they might bring up. But we are going to address what needs to be addressed. And we're going to have the people who can speak truth to power. None of this stuff should be happening because it doesn't fully address what, hey, they want to build houses, they want to build hotels, they want to do all this stuff under this pinnacle project. But guess what? It does not address access to the beaches. It doesn't address the fact that poor people have access to only 2.5 miles of beachfront property. Right?
Right.
And so all of these folks that have been going through and protesting the lack of access, maybe somebody will hear them pounding on the door, asking to be heard one more time. Right? But the fact is, it goes back to the leadership, goes back to the prime minister. Nobody dares to challenge him on the legality of what he's doing. Nobody tells him, Mr. Prime Minister, you're going to be prosecuted because you're breaking the law. This is what is so troubling. They defied the court when they held on to the DPP. We got 2 DPPs. Right? So the defiance is there.
Right.
But we're not being defiant when we go and we protest. We're simply saying, folks, you're wrong, and here are the facts. They have not challenged us based on the facts that we presented.
No.
They are
have
talking down to us and about us.
Right.
And
smoke screens.
saying a lot of things that doesn't exist.
Smoke screens.
Right?
That's all it's been. Smoke screens.
Not acknowledgement.
Yeah. Hiding the
None
facts.
whatsoever.
But historically, what we've seen is that protests work. When groups of individuals get together and share one voice with one mind with a common goal for the betterment of a group, we've seen where change has come. And this will be no different. And so if someone wants to say Kevin Stew has gone political. No, I haven't. I still don't do politics and religion on my broadcast because it causes too much controversy. But I do address issues relating to real life and real people. And this is one of those issues. When you look at my beloved Jamaica, the land we love, the place where out of many we have one. But no one can really say they feel safe. Safe as in safe to be guaranteed quality education, quality health care, and quality protection. And that's an issue.
Kev, within 100 days, you remember that?
I don't even go there.
Within 100 days, they're going to vote to set term limits. Within 100 days, you're going to be able to sleep with your windows and doors open. Within 100 days, you're going to have recall elections approved. You're going to have impeachment approved. All of these things, Kev, is not in the new draft of the Constitution.
Right.
None of it. So within 100 days is out the door.
It's the longest 100 days
and
I've
now
ever
you're going to
seen.
have the potential that this man can actually serve another 7 years as president. And as president, he cannot be prosecuted. He can be touched.
Immunity.
So we have the Teflon Don running around Jamaica House.
Yeah, crazy.
It is crazy.
But this, ladies and gentlemen, this is why people protest. This is why voices get raised in opposition for these issues and more. Let your voice be heard, be a part of it, whether it is for or against. We encourage the dialogue, because with dialogue comes solutions. So bring your dialogue, bring your argument, and let's find solutions for a better Jamaica. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for taking the time out to share and to educate us on this broadcast. Truly appreciate of it. To all the affiliates, One Harmony Radio in the UK, NIE Radio in New Jersey, Mix 102 in New Jersey, Earth 96 FM in Jamaica, Island Worldwide in New York, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com in South Florida. Thank you all. Truly appreciate of you and all the support that you give. Merlin, much love. Good night. Well, good morning to you. No. Y'all, be safe.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Thank you very
care,
much for having us,
we'll
Kevin. It's been our pleasure. You are brave, you're bold, and that's what it takes to win this fight. You gotta be brave, you gotta be bold. You can't hide.
That's right.
You can run, but you can't hide.
That's right.
Bottom line. Yeah. Doc.
Thank you, Herb. Thank you, Doc.
Good night.
Thank you, Prezi. Much love.
Prezi, one love.
I see them love. Oh, yes, I see them. Lost in delusion. And now they reside.
As we wrap up
in the state.
This is Nikki Blaze.
That my race remains poor.
Track called Lost in Illusion.
Sitting on the jail floors. My race fighting to knock down doors.
Addressing the issues
Race they stole from
is what we need to do, right?
my race that built this great nation. Still trapped.
We need to ask the questions and demand the answers.
I see them love.
Don't just take whatever anyone wants to give us and say that's all there is to it.
Love. Oh, yes, I see.
No.
Lost in.
We deserve more, we deserve better.
And now they reside in
Thank you all for tuning in. As we part company, do remember, look out for members of your community. Your community is not just the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, the plane, the boat, the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is Kevin Stew. This is how I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, kevinstew.com. I thank you. Catch me on Saturday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the Saturday Stew Reggae Global Radio. Much love to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you, wherever you are in the world, from right here in South Florida. A pleasant good night. Be good. If you can't be good at it. And open your eyes. Don't be lost.
Oh, I see them running.
Greetings and salutations, one all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot, where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.